India's G20 year is important not because of the G20. It's important because of India. This is India's coming out moment, in a lot of ways very similar to the 2008 Olympics for China, being a moment when the country is reaching that inflection point between being a low-income country and a middle-income country, and being, relatively unimportant in global economic circles to being vital to global economic development. So as India graduates from the G20, so to speak, we really should be looking at Indian membership of the G7. The G7, of course, is the grouping of the world's leading democratic economies. But India already has a larger economy larger than Canada and Italy, the two, and the United Kingdom, the three smallest G20 members, and France, actually, G7 members, I'm sorry, bigger than the four smallest G7 members. It's only trailing the United States, Germany, and Japan, and it's likely to overtake Germany and Japan in the next few years. So when we're looking at a situation where India is the second largest economy in the free world, the G7 as a coordinating body for the free world is looking really inadequate without having India as a member. Now, India is an observer. It's been an observer the last 3 years. It's likely to continue to be an observer in the future. But I really think in the next few years, we're almost certain to see an Indian membership in the G7. I would say that India has been a voice for reason, not the only voice for reason. There are many voices for reason, but most of those who are reasonable don't have a stake in the conflict. The United States, of course, believes, rightly or wrongly, that it has a very strong stake in the conflict, and it's taken a very strong position on freedom for Ukraine and on supporting the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian people. There's no denying that Ukraine is incredibly popular in the United States right now, and Russia has been perennially unpopular. So this is both a matter of national interest for the United States, but also a matter of political expediency for the United States. Now, the United States perceiving support for Ukraine to be in its national interest is obviously pushing other countries to provide support as well, or to condemn Russia along the same lines as the United States has. Now, I want to be clear, Russia invaded Ukraine. There's no doubt about that Russia is the aggressor in this war, and the onus must be on Russia to make amends, not on Ukraine to make amends. That said, I think sensible people would all like to see more pressure towards a diplomatic resolution as opposed to towards a military resolution. Unfortunately, there's been very little traction for that in the United States. India is pursuing a sensible approach to wanting a peaceful resolution of a conflict that's killing thousands of people. But that doesn't change, my expert opinion does not change what political views have been cemented into the American psyche. So I think it'll be very difficult for Biden and Modi to come to any resolution of this. Instead, I expect an agreement to disagree. That is a respect for the other side's position on this. But I'm sure that Joe Biden will raise the Ukraine issue with Narendra Modi, and I'm sure Mr. Modi will tell him that he can't do what Mr. Biden would like him to do. I can't imagine any real possibility here for motion on either side. The ties are bound to improve as long as India wants U.S. equipment and is willing to pay for it. I think beyond the GE engines, the United States would love to sell India F-35s, and that's a big show of confidence in that, the F-35 program is America's flagship program and is only open to major NATO and major non-NATO allies. So the fact that the U.S. last year or earlier this year showcased the F-35 at the Bangalore Air Show, I think was a clear signal that the U.S. wants a stronger and closer connection with India.